Hi Blender fans, welcome to Blender TC. Please subscribe. In today's exciting Blender tutorial we'll be creating a lava lamp. We'll be using a particle emitter and the Metaballs. Please subscribe. Let's begin. In this tutorial we'll be making a lava lamp. We will not be deleting the cube, but we'll be using it in this tutorial, and the cube we're going to use it to actually kill particles. So I'm going to add a collision modifier into this by hitting the actual collision, the physics properties, selecting collision, and then putting kill particles. This here is going to be the actual thing that actually stops some of the actual particle definition. So what we're going to do is move our camera way off into the distance, add an empty, and the empty we're going to add is a sphere. The camera is going to actually look at this sphere. So with the camera selected, we select it in this image. Go to the actual collection. Sorry. Go to object constraints, which is like this little earth with a little moon going to look like a bicycle change around it. Add the constraint and track to. And what I want it to do is track to the empty. So select the empty, press Z and Y. Now the empty, if we hit the 0 key, is this circle here. So if we move the actual empty up in the Z direction, got the 0 to look through the camera, G and Z, as you can see, we're looking at the empty, which makes it look, we're looking through. So we put the cube to the bottom of our image, and we've put as empty there. And this camera will always look at the empty. As you can see, the camera's looking up there. What we want it to do is look down at the cube. So if we move the camera G and Z, still looking at the empty, you can see now we're looking at the top face of the cube. And that's more or less where we're going to leave it. Press the 1 key to look from the front. Some very noisy people actually rattling things in this house today, but so we're looking from the front. Press the 1 key, add an image, and the image that we're going to add into it is a reference image. And if I select my lava lamp, here it is. Here's the lava lamp that we're going to actually copy. So S to scale, that little cube is going to be in the bottom of the lava lamp, so S to scale, G and then Z, which moves it up in the following the blue line, G and X, which follow it on the red line, G and Y will move it backwards and forwards, and Control and Z undoes whatever you last did, just to actually help you navigate this thing. So scale the actual image, G and Z to move it up to the top. And as you can see, if we look through the image, all we're seeing now is the bottom of our lava lamp. We want to see it all, so we'll move the camera. The physics in the world seem to actually work better on larger objects, even though this is not real. If we're looking by pressing the N key and look at the real size of this thing, as you can see, it's nearly 10 meters by 10 meters high. So that's a massive, massive lava lamp. But looking from the side by pressing the F3 key, I'm going to move the actual camera way into the distance. And as you can see, our image, the camera's gone too far away and the image has vanished. So to cure this, we go into the World tab. So we go into the Camera tab. I'll say again, Camera tab. And what we do is, as you can see, it's clipped at 100 meters, but because we're so big, we'll just move it out until the lava lamp starts to appear again, which is about, I'm just going to change it to 150 meters. We're still not seeing all the lava lamp through the camera, so I'm just going to move the empty G and Z, move it down until the lava lamp fills the whole screen. There we go. Now, pressing the one key, what we're going to do is we're going to add a cylinder. So, add a cylinder. Add the cylinder. What we do is actually zoom in on the cylinder by pressing the delete key on your 9-figure pad or the full stop. You just move it in the Z direction, and we're going to scale it. Oopsie daisy. Scale it so it's about the size of the base. And then what I'm going to do is go into edit mode by pressing the edit key. And with face select the face. And then G and Z to move it to the top of the lamp. So G and Z to the top of the lamp, or nearly the top of the lamp. Scale it down to it's about the right width. G and Z, move it up. And there we have, we've got the lamp. I'm not going to follow this lava lamp exactly, but what I'm going to do is change it. What I did there is pressing Ctrl and R to actually split this into two. And if I select the line here, and then press the Alt key, then select the left click on the line, I can then select the old loop going all the way around. Just the one key. GG will move that up and down inside its constraints, and S will scale it. So I'll scale it up. And we'll Control R again, scale it down. Whoops. Like I say, I'm not going to follow this exactly. I'm just going to make it slightly different. So Control R, move that down. And Control R, I'm going to move that up, press the Alt key, and scale it out. As you can see, my lava lamp, I'm slightly changing it. And if I went into wireframe, I'm just going to go to wireframe, hit the one key, Control R to split it again, GG to actually put that. And the other thing that I need here, I want an actual face there between these two. So with that still selected, I'm going to press the F key to actually insert a face. So select that back again. I'm just Control Z there. Control R, split it. Start again, edit that out. Control R, GG, bring it up so it's more or less level with the line. If we're going to select it, press the Alt key to select the whole circle. If I can, it's going to let me. There we are. And press F to give it a face. So what we've got there is we've got a cat with a face on it, and that's going to be very useful later on. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to add a thickness to this, so select that, go on solid mode, fact, we'll go on wireframe just so we can see the actual wire. And add a modifier, bait in the little spanner, and solidify. And we're going to make this solidify slightly wider, so we're like adding a skin on the inside of there. And we'll do it to about there. So what we've done now is we've like added the thickness to his glass. Select this to go into the actual edit mode, and we're going to actually make the glass now. So with the object selected, in fact we don't need the image now, so select the image, hide the image. The reason I'm just hiding it is, in fact I'll do it now, I'll hide the, unhide everything, hide the lamp. With the lamp selected, if you have got Microsoft Windows running, then there's the cutting tool there, or the snipping tool, and you can actually copy this image if you want to actually use it to aid you in your making of this image. You do that by hitting the snipping tool, new, selecting around the image, and then that will allow you to save it, file, save as a JPEG anywhere you want. So I don't want to save that, so there we go. So now I'm going to get rid of the image by pressing the X key and delete the image. Alt H to make the actual lamp reappear. And what we need to do is now make it into glass. So select the material, go for a new material, we'll make a blue glass, select blue, make it quite shiny, I'll increase the metta, the reflectiveness, which is done by metal, and I think we're still in cycles, which we are, we'll change to Eevee. Right, so now we're in Eevee. As you can see the lines appearing there, so right click and we'll smooth shade. With the object selected, go back into the material. In fact, I'll do this again just to show you. New material, go to blue, take the metal up to make it slightly shiny, and we're making a glass, so what we want to do is in the blend mode select alpha blend, and in the shadow mode we'll do alpha clip, and as you can see it's starting to become see-through, and all we need to do is adjust the alpha on how see-through we actually make it. Right, with that material selected, we will call that glass. Let's take the caps lock off. We'll call that glass. And as you can see the cube through the glass. Go into edit mode, select the base of the lava lamp, and if you press Ctrl and plus, we can then select the base, and we're going to add another colour, and we're going to make this into like a black plastic, so we'll just call it black. So add a new material, select new material, select the colour, make it black, make it very reflective, including that, take the roughness down to nearly off, and then all we need to do is assign the material to them faces that we've got selected there. Assign, make some black, and we'll do the same with the top. So Ctrl and plus, and assign, select the black again, then assign, and there we have it. We've got a black cap and the black base. Now add a Next thing we want to do is make the actual wax for this lava lamp. But what we'll do is we'll put this on a shelf first. So add a simple cube, add mesh, cube, G and Z just to move it down. Scale it in the actual X direction by pressing S and then X. And we'll scale that nice and wide. Scale it in the Y direction. And what we've now got is we've got a lava lamp on a shelf. G and Z. Oops, there isn't. G and Y. G and Y makes it move on the green line. G and X makes it move on the red line. And G and Z will make it move on the blue line. Press the tab key to go into edit mode. Select this edge with edge select. G and Z. Sorry. E to extrude and Z to make a back wall. Select the base. E and Z. Move it down. Make another wall. And what we'll do, we'll give this a bit of a colour. So make the walls brown. Assign a new colour. Make it a light brown. Assign. And then we'll select the shelf. Plus, new. Then assign. And then what we've done is we've made like a grey shelf on a brown background. But we can't see a shelf because this camera's too close. So, looking through the camera, what we'll do is move the camera. So select the camera. As you can see, G and X with the camera selected. So we're in edit mode then, so select the camera again. G and X, move it to one side. G and Y, move it back a bit. And G and Z, move it up a bit so we're looking from the top. And as you can see, those back walls vanish now because the actual clip has gone too far again. So select your camera, move the clip out. And we'll go on to the front of the shelf. Press in edit mode. And GG. See, G and Y. See. And now you've got your actual shelf. Alright, so I've made this basic lava lamp. But it's not looking very much like a lava lamp at present, and the reflections are absolutely rubbish on it. So what we're going to do is add a background to this, and the background is going to be an environmental texture. Did that by actually hitting background, hitting a little dot at the side, and then we're going to select. I've downloaded some from HDR Evan, and what I'm going to do is select the one. So here. Got this hallway. So just got this hallway selected. And that's showing us reflections on as plastic metal that we made there, or the plastic that we made. So you can see it gives it a bit of depth. And I'm just going to grab the wall and G and Y and move it so the lava lamp's in the centre. Next thing we do is add the Metaball. So add a Metaball, G and X to Move the Metaball there. I'm just going to scale it up slightly. G and Z. Move it into the air. What we're doing is I've just moved that slightly off a shot, because that there is what we're going to use for the actual Metaballs, and that's what's going to actually be the lava in our lava lamp. So with the Metaball selected, we need to add an hot wax to this. So select new, and set the reflection quite high, set the roughness down to 0, sorry, quite high. Make the colour of this red, brilliant red. Have a bit of alpha transmission on it, bit of alpha blend, bit of alpha clip, just to make it have a bit of alpha, bit of glassy look about it. I don't want to be totally invisible, just take it down slightly, and that'll make it look slightly waxy. As you can see, it's reflecting quite a bit of light there. So next thing I'm going to do is add a particle emitter. So add a mesh. The mesh I'm going to add is a plane. As you can see, the planes are down here. So G and Z, move it up. So it's about level with the base there. And then what we're going to do is go into particle properties, go onto the plus key here, and as you can see, it's set to actually do 1,000. So if we actually just press play, you'll see that there's 1,000 particles falling off it, and they'll stop shortly. What we're going to do is go into the animation, and we're going to change the end frame to 2,000 frames. Just to give some length to his animation. The space bar starts and stops animations. So, back into modeling mode. And in the particle emitter, we're going to have the particles go for the actual, nearly the full length of the 15,000 frames. And I'm going to make the lifetime 15,000. Which of course will make the particles appear, and go back out of edit mode, randomly along this plane. This plane here, we're just going to change that its name to emit, make it the emitter. I'll start naming some things. I've selected the lamp there, so I'm going to call that lamp, LAMP, just makes it easier to find things later on. The light is the light. The cube there is the cube. This is down there. We'll call that into kill cube, so rename that by pressing the F2 key. Kill cube. Or you can double click up here. Look. As you can see, that's turned that into the kill cube. And the cube, its properties down there. What we're going to do is add a collision modifier, which we've done already, and so it kills the particles. So the particles from the actual emitter, press the space bar to begin. They're basically falling down there until they hit the cube, and then they will die. As you can see, they're very small particles, and they're all falling down. So what we need to do is go into the emitter, go into the particle tab, then we're going to the field weights, and we're going to change gravity to 0, which suddenly makes them go in the up direction, so it now looks like the actual bubbles in, say, lemonade. So we'll scale the emitter up. There you go. And we've got the bubbles in lemonade. That there we're going to actually use to be a lava lamp. And what we're going to do is duplicate this, so each one of these particles becomes a different size Metaball. Now, first of all, I'm going to select that Metaball, duplicate it by pressing Shift and D, and G, and then X, move it over here to the centre of there, G and Z to move it up, and then I'm going to scale it, and that's where our axis is going to come from. G and X, and scale S and Z, and that is like our repository of wax. So G, just move it into the centre, just roughly. We can hide the emitter later on, which we will do later on. The next thing I wanted to do is go back into the emitter and into the render tab. Instead of selecting halo, we've got line, which should make a line appear, I believe, but a line of them around the edges. But what we want to actually select is object. As you can see, everything seems to have vanished. The reason it is because no object is being used yet, because that in the instances tab here, you've got to actually select the Metaball. That's what I've just done. As you can see, it's just slightly quivering. That's because they've got no scale at the minute. So increase the scale. And the random size, and as you can see, it's now looking just like lava coming out of the lamp, but it's not really keeping itself in the lamp, is it? So what we're going to do is add some containment onto the actual lamp itself, and the way we do that is by selecting the lamp, move it up, select the lamp. As you can see, the lamp selected up there, and go into the collision modifier or enable physics, hit collision, and now as you can see, it's actually just going up the sides of the glass, but it's not leaving the lamp. You can see. And it's not leaving the lamp, but there's just too much lava in there, so you can't really see it. Quite a cool effect though. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hide the emitter. So I'm going to the emitter, going to particles. As you see, it says show emitter. Unclick that. That means when you actually render this, the emitter will vanish and it won't be rendered in the render. But there's still too many particles, so we'll go to the top of the emitter selected, change that from 1000 to 10. Back to the beginning. And we now have the lava, and it bounces off, and you'll see it join together there. As they come close to each other, it joins on, but they're not really affecting each other yet. It does look good. They're not really affecting each other. The way we make them affect each other is go into the physics tab and then increase the Brownian, and as you can see, they're now affecting each other. What I've done is just by adding the Brownian there, I've added a bit of surface tension, so now they're actually pulling each other apart and then moving each other slightly. Don't think there's enough particles, so I'm just going to change that to 20. Start the animation again by pressing shift and left click on the actual on the arrows on the keyboard. And I don't think the actual wax particles are big enough either, so what you can do is increase the scale, or the random scale. Increase the scale. And it's starting to start that again. You've also got drag here and you've got damp, which do different things. You've also got Newtonian up here, and if you would change this to say a fluid, you get a totally different effect because the fluid wants to join onto each other and it doesn't really work. I'll change it back onto Newtonian because that seems to work better. Start the animation again. Take the dampening off. And the lava comes out. And it's up to you how many lava particles you have. Change that to 60. As you can see, our lava lamp is about complete. The only thing that multiplying the mass with size, if I tick that, it gets a bit more realistic because they'll start actually moving about because they start affecting each other's mass and they join up to each other. And then all I've got to do is render that, and we have our animation that you saw on the front of the actual picture. I think the scale is just a little bit too big, so I'm going to select the Metaball itself and I'm going to scale it down slightly. That's too big, so the scale is just too big, so go to the emitter, go to the physics tab and take the scale down slightly to 0.6. You've just got to get an happy medium. That's my lava lamp. What I'm going to do is just render out my animation now, and that's going to be on the front of the actual animation. Let's just add a bit of scenery, add mesh, cube, scale, zoom, G, Y, G, X. Scale that down. U, Z. Only thing we haven't got at the minute is a bit of light, or better light, and some reflection. So what I think I'll do is just add some more bits and bobs, but we'll see that in the final render, which will be at the beginning of this video. Please join me then. I think this is more or less complete. All I'm going to do is add a light at the bottom of here. So if I add a light, make it an area light, and let's just select the light, change it to 1000 watts, rotate X 180, so it points upwards, G and Z, and I'm just going to scale that up. If I were to render it, F12 to render, it's quite a pretty picture, but so there's something not right here. Shadows are not right. Area lights there. Go on to that. Take the spreads down and see. F12. See if that's any better. Yep. Right, go on to the emitter on the lights. Area light, change it to circular area light, circular. G and Z. 2000 watts. Scale up a bit. Change the light. 12. Just altering bits of light and things just actually make things look a bit realer. I'm just going to increase the detail on that to 0.2. What I did there is I actually selected the Metaball and then selected the object data properties and made it into a smoother shape by reducing it to 0.2. 0.3 might make it work better though. Make it a bit more chunky. No, 0.2. What I think I might do is I might select that emitter there and the area light G and Z. It's quite a nice effect. You can see it's reflecting off the back wall, so if I rotate it in the X direction like so, G and Z, and just move it. It starts to get very interesting on an animation. Another thing is the wax is a bit too, it's not see-through enough, so change the alpha settings slightly. More glass-like. Just cast a little bit of shadow. There we go. And move the area light back slightly. Select the area light G and Y. Move it from beyond the actual. That won't render. If I press the render button, as you can see, it makes for a more interesting live lamp. Now, I'm just going to add a quick book, add mesh. cube. Let's make a quick bucket to actually put on the side of the actual. So scale in the Z direction. Scale in the Y. Select that edge. E, X, E, Y. Scale Y. On that side as well. E, Y. G, Y. Scale Y. G, Y. Line them up. Just like that side, that side. Press shift down, slide that side, and then right click, so extrude along normals. G, 3, Z, G, Z, scale it down, scale Z, G, Z, rotate Z. Just making a bit of scenery, G, Y. Just add a colour to that, make it green. Do that again. Select that face, select that. Assign a normal colour to it, which is that. Assign. And just select those two faces. Add a new colour. And just assign. Oh, now I'll just do black. This is like them two edges. New colour. Assign that. And then just render it. And all I'll do is add a sun to it. And then what we'll do is move G and Z. Start to the sun, so the sun. Z. Rotate on X. Rotate on the Z. Just gives things a bit of depth. Not so strong. So, 5, 2, 500. Just add another colour to that one. Make it green or something. Metallic. And I think that tutorial is about done. Please subscribe. I hope you like the tutorial. The only things that you could add from this is with the emitter you could add different things like the dampening, the deflection, do size deflect, and the actual, you'll see them actually bounce off each other, like you should do. A little bit. Still combined with each other, they'll deflect off each other as well. That's my version of a lava lamp. I think you could probably make a lot better one. As I've been trying to make this, I've made better ones than this one. But this just gives you the general idea. Hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Please subscribe. Start recording.